Hey guys! Sorry I haven't put out videos in a while. I've been dealing with this whole scenario. I've been in and out of the emergency room and I was even hospitalized for about 2 weeks. But I'm home now and I'm really happy. I'm still recuperating, but I'm doing a lot better, so that's a really good thing. But it also inspired me to make this video because I'm sure there's plenty of people with CRPS who have to go to the emergency room to get the care they need sometimes, because sometimes this pain is just intractable and there's no meds that work for it when it gets that bad, at least for me. So we need to go for pain management and then they just send me home. Going to the ER is kind of, this kind of skill that we've mastered, and I figured I would share some of the little tidbits or kernels of wisdom that I've accumulated after going to the ER. I'd say it's upwards of 40 times at this point. It's nuts. Before I was diagnosed, in that 6-month window, I was probably in a 6-month span, I was probably hospitalized over 30 times. And since I got my stimulator, that number has dropped significantly, but we still have to go every now and then. This particular time I had a pain spike and we were in and out of the emergency room almost 10 times, I think, in this last 2-week span. But it comes in waves, and hopefully, knock on wood, that it's done for now for at least a very long time. But anyway, I figured I would give 5 tips on how to navigate the emergency room should you find yourself in my situation where you have to go to help manage the CRPS pain or anything else that comes with it. So without further ado, here we go. Number 1 would be try your best not to cry until they've got the IV in. If you're like me, by the time you're in the emergency room situation, I'm nauseous, I've probably vomited a lot, so I'm severely dehydrated. When you're severely dehydrated, it's really tricky for them to get the IV in. So I'm a really tough stick by the time we call people or we go to the emergency room. So what I do is, as much pain as I'm in, I do my best not to cry till they get the IV in, because that's precious hydration that I don't want to waste, and I want to make sure that they get that IV in ASAP. You don't want to have them bring in the ultrasound if you can help it, and that this is just a long process that is hopefully avoidable if you try and stay as hydrated as you possibly can. And if you can keep yourself from crying at least until they get the IV in, that will help a little bit. And then as soon as they get the IV in, just let the waterworks go, because it can be good to kind of get that out. Number 2, if you're like me and you go to the emergency room multiple times, I think it's very important to have a care plan with the emergency room that you formulate with the hospital. You can make a plan that's kind of, unique to you and your needs. In my particular case, it says things like, I can't take off my clothes to change into a hospital gown, because by that time taking off the sleeves on this arm would be horrendous and terrible and just torture at that point. So it says in my care plan that I can't change into a gown, at least not until I've been made a little more comfortable with some medications or whatever. Most of the time that's not a big deal, but every now and then you get some nurse who is pretty insistent on having you change, and you have to show them, nope, this is in my care plan, that can't happen. So it's good to have those things, in even just a short paragraph that they have on file, so they know what you need, what you don't need, what you can and can't handle. Mine is only maybe a paragraph long, so it doesn't need to be long, it doesn't need to be wordy, it just needs to get the message across for the nurses and the staff that these are the things you need when you get there. And if you're a frequent flyer like me, that's pretty important. Number 3, to tie into the care plan, is make sure that you have an advocate, whether it's a family member, your partner, anybody. So make sure you have someone, especially if you are unable to communicate by the time you get to the ER, which in most cases I am, because I'm nauseous or in pain and I just can't communicate for myself. Have an advocate to go with you, and when you get to the ER, don't separate. Even if they say, oh, can your advocate come over here to register you? No, just say no, because it'll take a long time for you guys to get back together for some dumb reason. I don't know why that makes it so complicated. I've been split from my advocate at times, and they've just kept him in the waiting room and said that they couldn't see me in the room until blah blah blah, until whatever. It was ridiculous and untrue, by the way. So if they need to register you, they can register you in your room. If you need to whatever, they can do it. They can do it all in your room. So just have them stay with you at all times. If they ask to separate you, have your advocate say no. It's part of your care plan that you have to have an advocate, and they can work around that. They might seem annoyed at times, but don't worry about that at all. Have someone to speak for you, to communicate for you, so you get the best. You get all your messages across to the people that need to know what's going on. And it can be a different person every time. It doesn't have to be the same person, but just when you go, make sure you have someone who can speak for you. It's most of the time it's my mother, it's been my brother at times, or my boyfriends, but just anybody who can say, this is Rosemary, this is why she's here, and this is what she needs, blah blah blah. 4 would be to, it sounds naive, but find your happy place while you're waiting to get more comfortable and you're just lying in agonizing pain. Find that place in your mind that you go to that just helps you to be calm during this whole process, helps you get through it. It's really good to just find, whether it's, I would like watch a movie in my head, like just kind of play it in my head, or listen to music if it's not bothering my head. But go to that place in your mind that just relaxes you, even in a minuscule way. That'll help you wait till the nurse comes with meds, or the doctor comes, or whatever it is you're waiting for. If you've ever seen the show Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, she says something really inspiring, that you can take anything 10 seconds at a time. So if you just count to 10, you've made it 10 seconds, and go another 10, and anything you can handle it 10 seconds at a time. And I found that to be incredibly helpful. So yeah, that's really, really, really helpful to be able to kind of dissociate from how you're feeling, which is pretty lousy. It'll help you kind of make it through until whenever, until you get what you need to lower that pain. And last but not least is, don't be afraid to dismiss any nurses or staff that are not abiding by whatever it is you need in that moment, whether they're ignoring things in your care plan or just not treating you very well. You have the right as the patient to say, you know what, I would like to have another nurse, please. And that sounds, you don't want to cause trouble, you don't want to, you don't want to step on anyone's toes, but we've unfortunately had that happen, where I've had a nurse who just straight up ignored my care plan, who started taking off my clothes even though I said specifically that we couldn't, and my God, it was, I don't have words for it. And I should have in that moment said, I want another nurse. And I didn't, because I didn't really know what to do at that point. I was shocked, I was in pain, I was a lot of things, but of clear mind was not one of them. So now I know better, and if anyone were to ever mistreat me or ignore what it is I need when I get there, I have the courage and the bravery to say, no. So don't be afraid to do that. If someone is mistreating you or doing the wrong thing, it seems like you're causing trouble or you're complaining, but you are the patient. What you need is the most important, and if someone's going to ignore that, then they shouldn't be taking care of you anyway. So don't be afraid to do that. It's the most important thing is you and what you need, and no one knows better what you need than you. And so whatever your gut is saying, listen to it. If your gut is saying, this person is not right, this person's not the person who should be taking care of me because X, Y, or Z, then listen to your gut. That's what's most important. What's most important is you, and you getting help. And if anyone's going to stand in the way of that, then they shouldn't be part of the process. So there you go. That's 5 small little pieces of advice that I can offer when you have to, unfortunately, find yourself in the emergency room. I hope that helps in any way. If you have any other pieces of advice, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear them, because I unfortunately will probably find myself there some point soon. Not soon, but at some point in my life. It's not really a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I'll have those pain spikes, and I'm sure a lot of you understand how that goes. So leave them in the comments, and I will be reading through them. Thank you guys so much for checking this out, and I will see you next time.